Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video. So as those of you who follow my channel know, I had a chance to test drive an actual functioning Ford Ranger electric, and it kind of inspired me to just sort of keep going, redouble my efforts. And today, just one of the small things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a tonneau cover. Now these Ford Ranger electrics, they came stock with a tonneau cover, which is basically just a flat liner that covers the top of the bed, and it does provide some aerodynamic benefits, which is in addition to sort of the security and protection for whatever cargo you have in the bed, is kind of the primary reason that additional aerodynamics improves your fuel economy. And I'll share some links to articles in the description that talk about this, but there's a lot of debate about how much it actually helps. And one of the numbers that I've seen is about 5% improvement to aerodynamic drag. Now, what that means is for gas-powered trucks, a lot of people had a difficult time actually realizing any sort of significant gains when putting a tonneau cover on a gas-powered truck, because the difference between electric vehicles and gas-powered vehicles is that when you're driving at highway speeds, the two powertrains react very differently to that speed, because a gas-powered car is so inefficient and always has a high percentage of its energy being devoted to parasitic loads, or these static baseline loads. Once you drive faster, yes, you're burning through more energy as you drive at freeway speeds, but you're traveling more miles for whatever that set baseline load is. For EVs, in order to replicate that, you have to be running the heater. And then that's the only time that EVs actually act like gas cars, because they have so much energy being drawn out from them at slow speeds that they aren't traveling as far per unit of energy used. And then once you speed up, your mileage actually improves like it does in a gas truck. But once you're at those freeway speeds, gas-powered trucks, probably about 60% of their overall energy, maybe as much as 70% of their overall energy, is used to overcome aerodynamic drag. So a 5% improvement in aerodynamic drag might only be 1 or 2% improvement in fuel economy. Then you translate that to getting 15-20 miles to the gallon. It's really hard to see a 1 to 2% improvement on a 20 mile per gallon truck. Now in an EV though, it's probably closer to 80 to 90% of the energy is being used to overcome aerodynamic drag. So that 5% improvement in aerodynamic drag, it provides more of a benefit to an electric vehicle than it does to a gas-powered vehicle. It still might not be much, maybe 3, maybe 4% total that you see improved in your fuel economy. But say this truck, if I'm looking to make it a 200-mile truck, well, now it would be a 206-mile truck. Or if I try to make it a 300-mile truck, it would be a 310-mile instead of a 300-mile. And that's not huge, but if it's saving you a charging stop every now and then, or because again, you can't just fill to full in 5 minutes like you can with a gas car, those extra miles in terms of range really sort of add up, and especially for an EV where it's most affected at freeway speeds. So anyway, I haven't even broken into this yet. I needed to do this anyway just to kind of get it out of the way. I picked up this cheap Tyger tonneau cover to put on the bed of the truck. So let's just sort of break open the box and see what we have. All right, so this one was from Tyger. It rained recently, so this is kind of dirty, but it is sized for the Ford Ranger electric. I mean, most of why I'm trying to do this now is just because it's in the way and I need to get it out of the way for my work area, so I can actually do the important stuff like the battery and the power electronics. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get all this tape cut off and then see what's in the box. All right. I have read that this one usually only takes about an hour to put together. So just a decent packaging here. Looks like some Velcro strips. Who needs instructions? So yeah, just looks like I'm going to need a ratchet, a 10mm socket, and a Phillips head screwdriver, which is perfect because I actually have all of that right now because I'm parallel charging my cells to get them all top balanced. So happy day, that's going to be easy. Alright, so this isn't the most straightforward instructions. You might need, I think that's, yeah, this is a seal for front of bed without bed liner, so that's what that would be. And then, yeah, these aren't the most straightforward instructions, but essentially I need to find the part with the clamps. Aha. So this does come with aluminum clamps. At least I think they're aluminum. Actually, these feel pretty heavy. I think they might be steel. So it looks like 6 of these total. Alright, and the clamps are all going to go on the sides anyway, so yeah, this is kind of interesting. It looks like there might not actually be anything here, so this is kind of counterintuitive, but yeah, it looks like we're just putting this roll up at the front, and now that's why this front bed liner is going to be necessary. Now it looks like maybe the reason is because this is already built into this tonneau cover, so it looks like the front you might not have the option. It might be attached to the cover. So this will all go across the front and it rolls out this way, so yeah, perfect width. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this weather stripping down. Just use the bag. I'm just gonna wipe this down here. Peel off the tape. Let's just do a measure first to make sure we know where to start, because I know where the bed ends. Just make sure we have the right length. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty far. Yeah, there's an area where this bed angles down, so it looks like that's about the length that it needs to be. Just keep it flat on the surface so there's no gap. I'm not trying to compress it. And then this should rest right on top. And it does look like it is to length to where it starts, the edge of the bed starts to fold over. So yeah, almost perfect fitment. Alright, now each one of these, it looks like it has this screw hole end, which goes at the rear end, and then of course just the standard front. And then this is just a kind of a rubberized finish, so it should just lay right on top. And there is an angle here, so it looks like the Velcro rolls down at an angle. This, of course, has at the top, this is the screw that they were referring to. You need to unscrew this, it looks like, and then slide in the rails to match it. So I'm going to have to take this off, it looks like, and then lay this down flat again. So it looks like these rails just slide right on. So it makes one piece. Alright, Alright, so I'm just gonna unscrew this screw as well. The end bolts are sort of stuck in there, so that's not a problem. Just feed this into the rail like I did the other side. Alright, and it looks like it is pretty well spaced. Putting some pressure on it to get it up against the weather stripping that I put in. The only thing I'd say is it does look maybe a mite bit short, so I can put these screws back in at any time. So now the rest of this is actually, should be very simple. It's just 6 clamps, evenly spaced, and then I'll be able to unroll this and see how it fits. So as you can see, this doesn't come all the way to the edge here, so I'm going to be kind of curious to see how this fits, and maybe this looks like it allows for some adjustment, but I really would want it to come back basically all the way to there. I mean, yeah, the tailgate closes here, but I might need some weather stripping on the tailgate as well. So these have very specific instructions too about how they go into the rail. So let's just try one right here at this back rail first. So yeah, because they have some tension when they grab. So basically what I try to do, if I'm ever doing like clamps like this on a bed, I just try to get them as evenly spaced out as I can. And then these are some self-sealing nuts, but let's see. They have the little nylon thing in them. So it looks like you might be able to do it from the top and have it grab purchase. So there you go. Just seems like just finger pressure is keeping the bottom nut from spinning, so that's good enough, I think. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Again, usually with this, I'm not worried about torquing down super hard. Just enough to keep things snug. Seems fairly secure, fairly solid, so 1 down, 5 more to go. All right, well, there you have it. All of them installed. I'm not in love with this design from an installation perspective. I think there's some room for improvement. I'm still not set on where those clamps are going to go, but overall, though, it seems like it's fairly solid and in place. So, yeah, just a matter of unhooking. And then unfurling. Yeah, a lot of this too, I mean, I'm probably going to end up adjusting this a little bit depending on how it fits. See, this is where that weather stripping goes. I really would have preferred this to kind of overlap and be on the bed itself. As it is, I had to shove these rails forward. But overall, like I said, look, there's a rigid beam here to hold it up. The big question is, again, how long is this compared to the actual bed? And it looks like it's okay. Looks like these go in here and sort of lever down. This might need to be adjusted. So it's actually just pretty taut. I think that's the reason for it, and then of course you can then pull that and it will come undone. Great, now I've done it. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain I trust it to stay shut. I mean, it's fairly secure, and it's one of those things where not like the wind is going to blow this up, right? This opens this way, so yeah, it's fairly secure, fairly rigid, fairly flat. This does not look like one that you'll be able to get into when it's shut. You know, you're not going to be able to access this. No way you're going to pull that Velcro up and then get to it. So yeah, overall for a very basic, I think just over $100, not so bad. And there you have it. Here's the tonneau cover. I like it. It's pretty solid, pretty nice. The inspector is coming over. Come here, inspector. So overall, I like it. It's a decent fitment. There's some issues with it, I think, in terms of where it's covering, how it's installed. I'm not 100% on all of that, but yeah, like I put a 300-mile battery in here. This better get me an extra 9 miles. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, but that's one of these aerodynamic treatments that you're seeing a lot of these EV trucks coming with. A lot of gas-powered trucks are coming with it now too. Adds a little bit of security and protection for whatever you have in the bed. Easy enough to install, even fiddling around with the cameras and stuff like that. This only took me about an hour to do. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. What's your experience been with tonneau covers? Have you been able to get them to work for you, work for your needs? Do they keep your stuff secure? And the inspector seems to think it's a worthy addition to the truck. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And thank you for watching. No scratching. No scratching.